What's up guys, Iggy here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO build video. Today I want to cover the Stamina Nightblade for the Summerset chapter. Is it still king of DPS? Find it out in this video.
You wanna turn me off. You wanna flip the switch. I wanna break the lock. I know what makes you tick. We used to be so young and free. Yeah, baby, don't treat me like a machine. I could still be just what you need. No, baby, don't treat me like a machine. Wanna go to your apartment, take it back to where we started. We'll be everything you wanted, you wanted, you wanted. I know it could be perfect, I know it would be worth it. We'll be everything you wanted. You want it, you want it. You want it, you want it. It's driving us apart. The way we never speak. I'll fix your broken parts and make you feel complete. We used to be so young and free. Yeah, baby, don't treat me like a machine. I could still be just what you need. No, baby, don't treat me like a machine. We used to be so young and free. Yeah, baby, don't treat me like a machine. I could still be just what you need. No, baby, don't treat me like a machine. Wanna go to your apartment, take it back to where we started. We'll be everything you wanted, you wanted, you wanted. And I know it could be perfect, and I know it would be worth it. We'll be everything you wanted, you wanted, you wanted. On it, on it, on you want it, on it, on it, on you want it, on it, on it, on you want it.
So that was the DPS test, or better to say 2 DPS tests. As you know, the first DPS test was with War Machine and the second one was with the Weapons of Reliquin, the new trial set. Before I get to sets, I want to show the stats first. So I currently am a red guard. I have all my points in stamina. I sit at more than 17k HP. A little bit less on the back bar because we do not have a shadow ability there. We use the Lover Stone. We have 61.7% crit chance unbuffed, which goes up much higher, and we use max health, max stamina food. Lover Stone for extra pen because the whole CP setup and with the Lover and stuff, it's all changed now because we do not have Thunderflame at Night Mother's Gaze as additional physical resistance debuffs. So you only have Alkosh and Fuse Torx Crusher left, and of course then Major and Minor Fracture. So we need penetration from a different source. And yeah, that's why we switched to the Lover Stone and have a little bit less weapon damage, but it's still fine. As you can tell from DPS tests, I like the Stamina Nightblade or Stamina in general can still do some decent damage. So for the sets, well, on the second clip I showed you this setup here. So it's 5 pieces of the new raid set. Reliquin gives you weapon crit 2 times, Minor Slayer, max stamina on the 5-piece bonus. If you have the non-perfected version, you do not have the max stamina. But the 5-piece bonus is your light and heavy attacks apply a stack of harmful winds, dealing 78 damage per second for 5 seconds, and then each additional light attack or heavy attack adds another stack, up to 20 stacks, and that increases damage by 260 physical damage with each stack. So that's really cool and results in a tough DPS. However, please keep in mind. I'm not sure if they fixed it or if they intend to fix it or if it's intended that way. This set is a little bit buggy. First of all, if multiple people use it, the stacks do not count for everyone. And that basically means if 2 people use it, for example, like I did a 6 mil DPS test, I usually have around 160 hits, depending on how much DPS I do. And the person that applied Major Fracture for me and gave me some bubbles also did light attacks while wearing the Perfected Reliquant set, and I had 60 less hits of the Reliquant set, resulting in about 2k less DPS. So the more people use it, the less beneficial it actually gets. What actually does stack is the perfected set and the non-perfected version. However, there's also a bug, and the bug that occurred basically doubled the damage of the hit. So usually, you can show it in combat metrics. So usually, it deals around like 6.3k damage per tick. Can go up a little bit more, of course, but I had, I'm sure, yeah, I have one test here, and on this test I did a 6 mil test, and the person that gave me bubbles was wearing the non-perfected version of the Reliquant set, and as you can see, it deals between 12 to 13k in DPS. I had less hits, of course, because the fight was shorter, but my maximum hit was at 40.5k. And as you can tell here, this is the non-perfect version and this is the perfect version, and yeah, both were active at the same time. I didn't use both sets at the same time, but it seems like the non-perfected version is not just working normally, but it's also increasing the damage. And as you can tell, like here, the other person, even though that person was only using puncture and you giving bubbles and doing light attacks, did more than 10k DPS. So the Reliquant set also did about 10-11k DPS without any points in additional, like any champion points in additional damage. So that it was really weird. So the set is a little bit buggy, but it performs really well. And yeah, you get it in the new Cloud Rest trial. So the normal version, of course, on normal, and the regular veteran from the mini bosses, from the main boss, you get weapons if you do +0, and once you start doing +1, you get armor pieces from the main boss, and then also jewelry pieces, I think, in +2 and +3. There's another thing with the set. These wins, they count as melee attacks. What does it mean? Or like, why is it important? So these melee attacks can proc sets like Ravager, and also can proc sets like Celine. So Celine only procs off of melee attacks, has a 15% chance, but a really low 4-second cooldown. So basically this set is kind of broken if you combine it with Celine, because then this deals a ton of DPS. So Celine is really strong in combination with this set. However, you can also wear other monster sets, like if you need mid-monster sustain, you can wear Stormfist, you can wear Velodreth. Those are your options. Like those are the sets that I actually recommend. But Celine is really strong, also especially with the extra max stamina. The other 5-piece set that you combine it with is another raid set, which is a little bit easier to farm, and that is the set of Berserking Warrior. This one is from Helra. It's a heavy armor set, so all the jewelry pieces are healthy, so you get more HP, and you do not want that, so you need to transmute them. I went with 3 Bloodthirsty because this always gave me the best results. However, if you play in a group where you struggle a little bit, or where you have fights where you practice, you do not get to execute a lot of times, Bloodthirsty is not the trait you want to go with. Instead, Infused is better. So Bloodthirsty is the best one, 3 Bloodthirsty on stamina, then 3 Infused, and 3 Robust also works. So if you use other sets, you want to go, you do not need to transmute everything. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, Advancing Yokida, or Berserking Warrior, adds weapon crit, weapon damage, weapon crit, which is nice, and our melee attacks. increase our critical strike rating by 400 for 5 seconds and stacking up to 5 times. And that's really cool because we get almost another 10% crit chance from this set. Like I said, you get it in Hell Ra. Or weapon damage, of course, and then we use 2 daggers. I really do not recommend to go with an axe. Axe is kinda like axe adds bleeding damage, but the bleeding damage ignores resistances, and it's kinda like if you want to get higher numbers on the target skeleton, you can go with an axe. Like especially on the Stamina Nightblade, axe is fine. However, I prefer to have higher crit chance because of all the crit, like the high crit modifiers that we use and the crit buffs and trials. So 2 daggers is the way to go for me personally, and we end up with more than 80% crit chance. So we have a Nirnhold dagger here with a poison damage glyph and an infused dagger here with a weapon damage glyph. However, if you do not want to farm a set, what you can do, first of all, if you can craft jewelry pieces, if you have 6 trace allies, you can go with Hunting's Rage. Jewelry pieces here, and then 2 daggers. What also works and gave me very similar results was Briarheart. So Briarheart is the set here. You get that from Orsinium, from that area, Hrothgar. And yeah, so you end up with, you can add another 3% and then like another 13%, so you end up with about 74% crit chance, a little bit more, completely buffed, which is still a lot for the Stamina Nightblade. And yeah, so that adds weapon crit, max damn weapon crit, and when we do critical damage, we have a 10% chance to increase our weapon damage by 449 for 10 seconds. The good thing is this weapon damage, unlike from, for example, Hunting's Rage, transfers over to our back bar. So that's pretty cool. So we want infused again here with the weapon damage glyph, and they're not on the main with the poison damage glyph. It's basically what we use. This is what you can use to replace Advancing Yukida or the Berserking Warrior set. As you were able to see from the first DPS test, from the first clip, where is it? War Machine. So the War Machine set is still good. I did almost 51k DPS on a 3-month skeleton, and the good thing about the War Machine set is it buffs you and 2 allies. So Reliquin is basically for her people that want to parse hunt, and you will get a ton of DPS. Like just imagine one Stamina Nightblade playing with War Machine, buffing another Stamina Nightblade next to him with the Reliquin set, and they just like the guy with the Reliquin set, like he will probably go like 80k plus single target on certain fights. Like the DPS should be really insane. But yeah, War Machine still good. Adds max stamina, minor slayer, weapon damage, and when we use an ultimate ability, we and the closest 2 allies get major slayer, 15% increased damage for 10 seconds. That's pretty cool. And we get really good uptime, at least 40% if you do not screw up that much, and that's really nice. Especially in Execute, and we have a really cheap ultimate that only costs 70 ultimate with the in-cap strike. So yeah, that's the replacement for Reliquin. Other than that, if you go with Briarheart, you can also wear Hunting's Rage on the body, it still works, or Vicious Ophidian on the body, or Vicious Ophidian jewelry pieces and 2 daggers. It still works. Like you have those basically are the options that you have. For the back bar, we use a Maelstrom bow. I switched from Nirnhold to Precise. We used to run Mechanical Acuity. Pretty sure I still have Acuity here. So Acuity here adds weapon and spell damage, Stamina, Magicka, and then when we deal direct damage, we have a 15% chance to gain Unerring Mechanical Vision for 5 seconds. So Mechanical QT was basically the meta while the last 2 patches, and it was really strong, and it's still strong. You can still use it. So if you're poor and you have mechanical acuity weapons in gold, and you do not want to recraft or buy other stuff like Briard, you can still use acuity. It's fine, trust me. However, acuity is still kind of a gamble because it only procs off of direct damage, not of all damage types. And I do not like to gamble. Like if I want to have like consistent results. I prefer consistent results much more over lucky procs. So I'm personally trying to get away from acuity, but you can still use it. I did tests and DPS was essentially the same. Like sometimes I had bad proc luck and then it was a little bit lower, but it's not like it makes like, I don't know, 5k DPS difference or something like that. So because of acuity, because we always had like basically 100% crit chance when it procced, I didn't want to waste crit chance on the back bar, because of the crit chance always carried over to your back bar. So I went with Nirnhound bow. Now I'm using a precise, gave me better results on the target skeleton, more consistent results, and yeah, you can still go with Nirnhound. So if you only have Nirnhound, just keep it. The difference is so minimal, but if you have precise, go with precise. Like I personally had better results with precise in the past. Because of acuity, I switched to Nirnhound. Now I'm basically back on precise again. Then we have the double dot poisons, like always. Keep in mind they don't properly stack, so ask the other DPS what poisons they're running, and yeah, poisons of different levels still stack. So basically, what you want to do is try to get different poisons on different people, so they stack again, and then you can get the full damage out of the poison. That's basically it for gear. Let's have a look at skills. Skill wise, nothing has really changed. So we still use surprise attack, adds major fracture, so it's good for solo tests, and that's our spammable. Then we have rending slashes, single target dot, bleeding damage. Bleeding damage always ignores resistances, so that's really cool. Relentless focus gives us minor berserk, 8% more damage. We also get that from combat prayer. So the good thing is we do not have to rely on combat prayer. However, in execute, I wouldn't recast it. I would just like trust your healers and just spam your killer's blade. Every 5 light attacks or heavy attacks, we can shoot Assassin Scorch, a Spectral Bow, really nice. Real strong DPS, and yeah, we'll get to that when I talk about the rotation. Then we have Killer's Blade, or Execute, insanely strong. Last patch, you were already able to hit 100k plus executes, and now with Bloodthirsty, if you keep playing War Machine, or if someone else gives you Major Slayer, 100k should easily be doable, probably like 120, maybe a bit more, I don't know. Didn't do the math for maximum damage, to be honest, but yeah. Killer's Blade, insanely strong, execute. Then we have Rearming Trap. So with this build, especially if you use Berserking Warrior, you want to stay on the front bar as much as possible. That's why we cast Trap on the front bar. If you feel a little bit unsafe, what you can do is go with Deadly Cloak to reduce a bit more AoE damage. Like the Razor Shield, you have the Razor Shield you from Shrapnel, reducing the damage you take from area effect attacks by 25%. I do not need that because I trust my healers and I trust my own ability to not stay in red circles or pink circles or whatever type of color like I have. I forgot. I think it's purple or pink, something like that. So just move out and it should be good to go. Like if you need Deadly Cloak, like there's some fights where you maybe want to play safe, so just like slot Deadly Cloak instead. But this also adds 3% more weapon damage because of the fighter skill ability Slayer. And then we have Flawless Downbreaker adding another 5%. And then also because it's a fighter skill ability, another 3% because of the passive. We rarely actually use it, so I actually don't use it at all. The ultimate that we always use is Incapacitating Strike. So we use it because it only costs 70 ultimate. And it works especially well with War Machine combination. And for 6 seconds we get 20% more damage against the target that we hit with it. So that's really, really cool, and we can keep that up basically all the time. Really nice. Then we have Leeching Strikes. Leeching Strikes really good for sustain. Also our light and heavy attacks heal us, and when the duration is over we get back 4.2k stamina. Then we have Razor Caltrops, AoE dot. Basically self-explanatory. You get it from PvP. Then we have Rearming Trap. I have a double barred because of the weapon damage that we gain on the back bar. And then also for the people that use Deadly Cloak, they can cast Rearming Trap on the back bar. Then I have Endless Hail. Oh, Poison Injection, I'm sorry. We have Poison Injection here, single target dot, especially strong in execute. And then we have AoE dot again, Endless Hail. Activates on Maelstrom Bow, really strong. So that's the skills. Let's have a look at champion points. So for the champion points, I currently have 75 in the Mooncalf, 56 into Tenacity. If I need to do heavy attacks, then I have 28 in the Warlord, 3 Pit Sprinter, 40 Tumbling, 48 Shadow Ward. For the green tree, I switch it around quite a bit. So especially like if I go into VHOF, I need to break free a bit more often. And I also need to block a bit more often. But I don't need to roll dodge as much. So I can take points out here and just put some more points into Warlord and Shadow Ward. So yeah, that's basically how I do it. So it depends on the content you play and how you want to distribute your champion points. Same goes for the red tree, because I currently have the standard distribution of 81, 22, 49, 49, 34, and 15. If you go in trials like Cloud Rest or Silent Centurion, you do not need points into Hardy, because it's all magic damage or elemental damage. So you do not really need points in Hardy. It's not necessary. You can just like take them out, put them more into Thick Skinned or Ela Defender, or like in Sanctorium you do not need Thick Skin, so you can take those out too and put more points into Spell Shield. And yeah, so you have to adjust it to the content that you play. And this is like just like a standard solution where you just mitigate basically every damage type for a bit. The important thing is, however, the blue champion points. Like I said, the penetration is completely calculated, or like geared towards maximum penetration. So with 16 points into piercing and the Lover Mother Stone, with Thunderflame and Nine Mother's Gaze being nerfed, we exactly hit 18.2k physical penetration. So Lover with 7 pieces, Divines in legendary quality, 16 points into piercing, infused Torx Pact Crusher enchantment, and Alkosh gold. If you add that all together with minor fracture and major fracture, we end up with 18.2k penetration. If you need a bit more penetration, what you can do, I actually forgot that for the monster set, I'm sorry. You can wear Krog. That's also a viable set again. Or you just take out some points from Precise Strikes or Physical Weapon Expert and some Mastered Arms and put them into Piercing. However, the rest of the champion points is 56 Mighty, 66 Precise Strikes because we have such high crit chance value, 48 Thaumaturge. You could put some more points here, to be honest, because Arms of Reliquant scales with Thaumaturge. And we have 61 Mastered Arms, 3 Physical Weapon Expert. But that's just, yeah, like I said, for the penetration, that's like the maximum that you need to get to 18.2k with the Lover Mother Stone and all the currently possible debuffs. So much for champion points. Let's have a look at like playstyle. How do I actually play this? It's pretty simple. I'm on the back bar. Like always, I just cast Hail, Caltrops, and then Poison Injection. If my Leeching Strikes is down, I cast that. However, Incap has priority. If my Incap is ready, I cast that. Basically, they take turns. So like one time I cast my Incap, the next time I'm on the back bar I cast Leeching Strikes. However, sometimes you will see me playing a little bit more flexible. So basically when my leeching strikes runs out, I just recast it when I don't have the buff of my incap anymore. And yeah, that's it for the back bar. For the front bar, of course, we want to try to keep up Relentless Focus all the time. The Spectral Bow, the Assassin Scourge, has priority because the damage it deals, you can see here, maximum hit 40k, is stronger than our strongest surprise attack, or like even the average damage of Assassin Scourge is stronger than our maximum hit of surprise attack. So instead of using surprise attack when we have the Spectral Bow ready, shoot it. Don't wait, shoot it. Try to shoot it as many times as possible. After that, keep the dots up, so rending slashes. And if all your dots are running, use surprise attack. What I do, if I have Rearming Trap on the front bar, I recast Rearming Trap before I swap bars. Then again, Hail, Caltrops Poison Injection, and one of these two skills into a bar swap. If you run Deadly Cloak, of course, try to keep up Deadly Cloak. 2, then use Surprise Attack, and then on the back bar I cast Hail, Trap, Caltrops, Poison Injection. So basically looks like this. So I just buff up. Hail, Caltrops, Poison Injection, Incap. The bow was ready, so I cast my dots. And now I just use Surprise Attack, bow is ready. Then I cast a Trap into a bar swap. Hail, Caltrops, Poison Injection. Relentless Focus is down. I recasted my dots. I can use Surprise Attack again. Trap into a bar swap. This is basically how it works. It's relatively simple once you have enough practice. It takes some practice, guys. The thing about this is it's not a fixed rotation. This basically means you have to be a little bit more flexible and pay attention to when your dots are actually running out. So yeah, try to keep track of all that stuff and try to, like, for the people on console, you have buff trackers now. Try to focus your poison injection when you see it's about to run out or it's hitting like 2 seconds, and you need to like, I think at that point you should have to swap bars. Like, let me actually confirm that. 1 sec. Yeah, like when it's 2 seconds, when poison injection is at 2 seconds, cast your trap and then go to the back bar. That should work. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for the Stamina Nightblade. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. And if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. If you do not want to miss any more ESO content, hit the sub button. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the little bell next to the sub button and turn the notifications on, so you will get notified whenever I upload new content. So guys, I hope you tune in next time too. And until then, bye bye.